privilege of doing our own taxes. Americans, notwithstanding the 13th Amendment, are forced, under threat of imprisonment, to spend 6.1 billion hours, or 696,347 person years, filling out our individual and business income taxes. For free. And that number, 6.1 billion hours of forced labor to prepare and fill out our taxes, comes from the IRS itself in 2012. Want to bet it is an understatement? Oh yes, please remember that failure to file your federal income tax return by April 15th in our voluntary tax system can get you up to a year in prison for each year you do not file a tax return. Remember how unacceptable taxation seizing 2% of our incomes was? There has clearly been some backsliding here. What happened to America? What happened to us? Something very big has changed, and for the worse. Can we recapture our liberty? Can we go back to the freedom we knew when earning $1 meant 98 cents belonged to us? Today, federal, state, and local governments see our earned dollar and leave us, on average, with 67 cents. And that average includes people who pay little in taxes or who receive government checks or net benefits. Your tax burden may be significantly higher than average. Our forefathers saw 2%, possibly swelling to 3 or 4%, and reached for their guns, and fought a bloody war of independence that lasted from the Battle of Lexington and Concord on April 19, 1775, to the British surrender at Yorktown on October 19, 1781. During the Revolution, 25,000 Americans died on the battlefield or from injuries. Those Americans who fought for independence and against the growing power of the British Crown were known as Sons of Liberty and Patriots. Those who supported the King were known as Friends of Government or Loyalists. This struggle and this division within the United States continues today. This book was written for Americans who look in the mirror and see a friend of liberty, and who daily find their lives and future diminished by those who, to this day, view themselves first and foremost as friends of government. We were free in 1783, when the final peace agreement was signed by Benjamin Franklin, John Jay, and John Adams in Paris. Are we free now? How much more of our lives will the government demand? What will be left to us? How much of our earnings, our savings, our homes, our time, our lives? Have we reached a tipping point? Has the government made itself too powerful to challenge when it claims new powers over our lives? Or has the government gone a bridge too far with the TARP bailouts, $800 billion in stimulus spending, and $1 trillion in new taxes for Obamacare? Has this tidal wave of spending and debt finally wakened Americans in the same way that the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941 did? Japanese Marshal Admiral Yamamoto is said to have noted then, "I fear all we have done is to awaken a sleeping giant and fill him with a terrible resolve." Are we now resolved or resigned? Today, the political struggle is not simply between liberals and conservatives, or Democrats and Republicans. Today, there are citizens who wish to fight to restore limited government. They argue in the political arena against those who welcome the warm embrace of the European welfare state of stasis and control. They struggle against today's friends of government, those who profit from and revel in ever larger government power and higher taxes and spending. But there is a third power, not an umpire, but an ally of the friends of government. It is the government itself. As in 1776, the Patriots fought not just the Loyalists or friends of government, but the might of the British government itself, allied with the friends of government. And the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, which has in the past been politicized by politicians from FDR to LBJ in petty ways, such as auditing and harassing their political opponents, has now arrayed itself on the battlefield to protect and grow big government. The usual political scandals in big cities, state houses, and Washington are petty theft, earmarked sending cash to a committee chairman's